That's a great explanation, and it's even further the point because you do write a lot about giving employees the why of why they're doing what they're doing. Because we all want to have, when you look at studies of Gen X, Gen Zers, they're coming into the workplace. Many of them, people are asking what they want out of their job, and of course, people want compensation and all that. But a big factor of them is working for a place that's making a difference. You know what I mean? Right? And I get that. It's the workplace is changing, and the fact of the matter is that most businesses are painfully boring. What they do is not very sexy. But in every business, though, what they're doing is important. They're making their little contribution to the world to keep the world going. And
Yep.
I think it's very important to explain that why to your employees, to make sure they're like, hey, I know you're working for a company and we make corrugated containers, but there is a reason why you're doing this. There is a big why. Does that make sense?
It does. I worked with a recruiting company a number of years ago. I've worked with a number of recruiting companies. This one in particular, they had a few specialties, one of which was like hospitalists and things of that sort. And when we were recasting their vision, helping them redefine what their vision was, and we did this with a cross-functional interdisciplinary team, all levels of the organization. And as we were going through this, and they were coming up with sample statements and things like that, and I was asking them about the global impact of their work. This company's based in the Atlanta, Georgia area,
Yep.
and they said, "Well, we don't have a global, like, we're here in the United States. We don't have a global impact." And I said, "Don't you?" They
Right.
said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, let me ask you a question. Let me just paint the hypothesis. You find an amazing hospitalist, you find an unbelievably seasoned, high-level medical executive, and you place them in a hospital, in a healthcare system, and somebody from somewhere in the world happens to be in their area and winds up with a major issue and needs to go in for a service or a procedure that hospitalist that you placed winds up caring for and changes the trajectory of their life.
Yep.
Are you telling me that that's not
Yep.
global impact?" And they were like, "Wow, we never thought of it that way." It's the old parable of, are you a bricklayer or a cathedral builder? Right?
Right.
It's the same kind of thing. What's your perspective? How are you thinking about your work? Meaning exists in every single job, everybody's work. There's a really cool video that I was watching just the other day, and it's a story of a gentleman who was in an airport, and he was going through, it was around Christmas time. I'll give you the short version and I'll send you the link. You can share it with your listeners.
Sure.
Quick version of the story goes, I think it was a Starbucks, by the way that he described it. And the woman was, engaging with him, and he had an amazing experience. And he said, "Why do you do what you do? Why do you work, pouring coffee and whatever?" And she said, "I don't pour coffee. I'm making happiness." And he was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa,
Yeah.
okay." So this, it really is it. That's not cheeky. I mean that, like, there is meaning in everybody's work. The question is, can you find it?